The media consensus with Hillary Clinton winning 4 out of 5 states this week is that it's only a question of how and when Bernie Sanders makes his exit. But the Democratic frontrunner on the eve of those primaries getting aggravated on MSNBC when Rachel Maddow asked what would happen if she's ahead in pledged delegates in June.
Look, I have the greatest respect for Senator Sanders, but really, what he and his supporters are now saying just doesn't add up. I have 2.7 million more votes than he has. I have more than 250 more pledged delegates.
Susan Frischio, why was Hillary getting so exercised? That wasn't exactly a hardball question from Rachel.
Well, I'll tell you why, because she went through the same process in 2008. She dropped out when she was had even better prospects than Bernie Sanders does right now.
She dropped out on the last day of the primaries.
Well, but that's true. She stuck all the way through it, but I think they had been cutting deals.
But in media terms, was that an overreaction to what was not a hostile question?
I think she's defensive about it, and she's defensive about it because the problem she has is that Bernie Sanders still has a lot of momentum. He may not be winning delegates.
And money.
He's getting money. His fundraising is dropping off, but he just raised $20 million in April.
But Joe, so the media focus now is what does Bernie want? Why doesn't he quit? Why doesn't he tone it down? Who appointed the press to deliver this message and nudge him out?
Well, he can go, and he, as you point out, with money, he can go all the way to the convention.
I think
the press doesn't.
So why talk about the pundits who are now saying, "Oh, we just think this is too much," and he really needs to behave.
Well, I think that's wrong. I mean, I think he lets Bernie be Bernie, let him go as long as he did. Obviously, Hillary Clinton did, but the point she is making, and I think it's laughable in the coverage, is she got 58% to his 42 in New York. We all called it a wipeout. If you go back from Iowa through all the primaries, she's beaten him 58-42. So that frustration that's going on with her on that with Maddow is, hey, it's not close, guys. Why do you keep doing
it? It was New York. New York's the center of the universe. It's more important than any other primary to the media. All right, so Donald Trump, taking a lot of heat over this woman's card issue. He phoned into the Today Show and talked to Savannah Guthrie. Let's take a look at that.
But, Mr. Trump, I mean, for you to say that if she were not a woman, she would be getting 5% suggests the only thing she has going for her is that she's a woman, not that she was a former senator or a former secretary of state and a lawyer. Do you understand why some people find that to be kind of a demeaning comment?
No, I find it to be a true comment. I think the only thing she's got going is the fact that she's a woman.
Amy Holmes, other anchors challenged Trump about this comment as well. Does it seem to you the press is kind of siding with the view that it was sexist of him to say that?
It seems like it. I mean, there were two parts to his statement, which was that Hillary Clinton is playing the woman's card. And then there was a second part, which I actually agree is a bit on the sexist side. I don't think that's the only thing that she has going for her.
Yeah.
That 5% happened. I think that went too far.
What about the first part?
But the first part, I think that Donald Trump is being unfairly attacked because Hillary Clinton has been playing the woman's card. She's been playing explicitly, and she even embraced it just this week when she said, if I'm playing the women's card, deal me in. So I think that was a fair criticism of Donald Trump. But to get back to the why won't Bernie drop out storyline with the media, I think it's also because the media gets bored and they want the news story and they want to move on from this because they're also smarty pants and they think they know what's going to happen. So let's start writing that new headline.
On this question about Hillary and the Trump reaction, here is the Trump attack. Here's the New York Times. Again, this is a news story. He is likely to attack her precisely because she is a woman in ways that many women find sexist. That's just done as a statement of fact.
Well, he's done it so far. He's gone after women based on their appearance or based on the fact that they're women. He went after Megyn Kelly in some ways that people considered very sexist. He has a track record of doing this, and I don't doubt that he's going to keep doing it going forward.
So you're sympathetic to the view that it's a fact, not an opinion or an analysis?
He has established himself as someone who's willing to go after a woman based on the fact that she's a woman. And many people consider that to be a sexist move.
But should that be in the news pages? I mean, that could be analysis of Donald Trump.
Why not? Really... I consider it a fact. I mean, it's true. He's done it over and over and over again. I don't think anyone in the Trump camp would deny it either. Just listen to what he said.
Well, of course they would deny it.
No, they wouldn't deny what he said. He has come out and said, remember the attacks on Rosie O'Donnell?
But hold on. The question is, should the New York Times be saying this is what he's likely to do in the future,
yes,
as if
because
they're
it is
predicting
quite
events
obvious
instead of
that's what he's
reporting
going
them?
to do, in my opinion. I don't think there's
Well,
any
he's running
question
against
about
Hillary
that.
Clinton, so it's not patty cake. I wanted to
Right.
bring up one more.
To stay out of
Yeah, let the women fight. All right, so the Veep stakes. So the Hillary camp leaks a very specific story to the New York Times saying she's having extensive discussions about 15 to 20 possible VP candidates and mentions some names: Tim Kaine, Mark Warner, Sherrod Brown, Deval Patrick. Also, we're open to a woman, and the Boston Globe goes crazy and says, aha, Elizabeth Warren. You've been through this kind of thing. Is the press being used here? And not that they're not considering VPs, but they want these stories out to show that what?
Of course, the press is being used here. I mean, you put this out, you float names. Some of it's trial balloons, and you do point out that there's a lot of precedent for picking someone of the same gender, and everybody sort of chuckles at that, and it makes the case that.
And even if she has no plan to pick Elizabeth Warren, it helps with the Wilbur wing of the party that she's at least considering her. Well, and it makes her look like the virtual nominee.
Yeah, it's about being the virtual nominee, and it is about. I mean, there does have to be some. I think that we are looking at progressives, and not necessarily just Elizabeth Warren, but to get that out there, that there's room and that we're looking for how to expand.
All right, you said the press is being used. Case closed. We'll talk more about it next week. Joe Trippi, Susan Frischio, Amy Holmes, thanks for stopping by this Sunday. Ahead on